This is an overview of email and messaging for students. Number one, you should only be using your school Gmail account for school purposes. You will also be using messaging within Schoology, and that again is only for school purposes, emailing teachers with questions, coordinating with other students for group projects, but only for school use. First thing I'm going to show you in Gmail is how to create labels, which are basically kind of like folders to organize all of your emails so you can create a label for each teacher. So I will show you that now. So this is how you create a label. Over here within your Gmail, it should look similar to mine, where you have your messages in the middle, and then over here you have a bunch of different options. So to create a label, you're going to go over here to these options and scroll down. You see I have a few labels already created. Those little kind of tags are labels. And if I wanted to create a new label, I would just scroll all the way down. And down here I have that option. So create new label. So for my test, I'm going to show you how I would label any emails from Mrs. Picard. Sorry, not Ms., Mrs. So if I have any classes with her, I would create a label like that, and I would do the same thing for all of my other teachers and click create. So now I see I have some messages right here from Mrs. Picard. So this is how I will go ahead and label them. I'm going to click on them over here in the checkboxes, and as soon as I do that, you see this little menu bar up here pops up. So after I've marked all of the messages I can see here from Mrs. Picard, I am going to up here to the label icon and click labels, and then I'm going to uncheck that because that's not where I want it organized. I'm going to go down here and find the one from Mrs. Picard and click apply. So now all of those emails from Mrs. Picard have that label on. And then over here, I can see, so then if I wanted to only see emails from her, I click on that label and only the emails from her are there. So if you had one for Mr. Russell, you could have that next to it or above it. And if you had one for Mrs. Keaton, again, you could have a separate box just for Mrs. Keaton. So you don't get confused with your email for all teachers all jumbled in one inbox. A couple other things to know. Over here, if you hover over these three dots, you have a few options. You can add a label color. Let's go with blue for Mrs. Picard. And I could also, if I realize I don't need that label anymore, say I have a class that's only for one trimester and I'm done with that trimester, I can scroll down here and click remove label. And that would delete that label from all of those conversations, and then also delete the entire kind of folder or label. So now it's not here anymore. So that's how you add labels. The next thing we're going to do is talk about proper messaging etiquette. So whether you are emailing a teacher or messaging them within Schoology, you will want to make sure you are being polite and school appropriate. So here are a few tips. You see I'm here in my Gmail and I have started a new message. So I am going to start typing and I want to send it to Mrs. Keaton, and she popped right up. And then I'm going to make sure I put something in the subject line that lets Mrs. Keaton know what I want to talk about in my message. So maybe I will say question about assignment. The next important tip after adding that subject line is make sure you put a greeting. Don't just start typing your question. It's always nice and polite to start with a greeting. So, hi, Mrs. Keaton. would be just fine. So you've got your greeting, and then you click return to go to the next line. So now you're on the next line, and this is where you actually ask your question. It's important when you type your question that you use full words, not text speech, and that you use capitalization, punctuation, correct grammar. So remember that and proofread before you actually send it. So I would start typing, and of course it's the beginning of a sentence, so I'm going to use a capital letter. My question is about number 5 on the assignment from yesterday's class. And then I do a period. What do I need to include for evidence? Question mark. I am confused. So there is my question. And if I need to add some more detail, I can do that. Or if that's all I think I need to include and Mrs. Keaton will understand based on what I included, then I can end my message with a quick closing of my name, either just my name or bye and thanks, comma, Mrs. Connell. So to review, make sure you put something in the subject line about what your message will be about. Make sure to include a greeting. Make sure to use capital letters, periods, question marks, and full words, not text speech. And make sure to include a closing. The next thing I'm going to go over is how to empty the trash in your Gmail account. So now I'm back here in my Gmail account, and along the left-hand side, you'll see one of the options here is trash. So I clicked on that, and over here, I have all of the messages that I have put in the trash. In order to empty the entire folder, I just go up here and click Empty Trash Now. The action will affect all 11 conversations in the trash. Are you sure you want to continue? And I click OK. So now everything is deleted from my trash. I can actually do the same thing in my spam folder. So I'm going to go there. While I'm here, why not delete all spam messages now? Going to click OK, and there we go. So it just kind of helps clean up your Gmail. The last thing I'm going to go over is how email connects with Schoology Messaging. So here I am in Schoology, and my view will look a little different than yours since I'm, of course, a teacher in a class. But the ways to message are either up here by clicking on this envelope, and I can click New Message. And by doing that, I could message my teacher. So again, how about we message Mrs. Keaton? So I can just start typing her name. There we go. And again, it's important to have a subject line. And then here, I can type my message. And then down here, I have options to either add an audio or video recording by clicking on this. Or I can add something from my resource folder, which I won't go over now. I can add a link, or I can add a file. So say I want to ask Mrs. Keaton about something and I took a picture of my question, so I could add that picture here by clicking File. And of course, same rules for etiquette in a greeting, proper capitalization, punctuation, grammar, and a closing, and then click Send. I can also go over here to members if I needed to email or message another student with a question about an assignment and click Send Message. Or if I needed to message my teacher, same thing. It doesn't show for me since that's my own. I can't message myself, but if you clicked on this as a student, you would see the option to send a message. And the last thing I want to show you about Schoology messaging is that you will receive the message here in your Gmail as well. So this is another example from Mrs. Picard. She messaged me in Schoology, but I got an email about it. And I can actually see the full message here, but if I want to reply to her, I just need to click on this link. It'll take me to my messages, and I can reply to her, and I can actually see the whole conversation we've had. So that is how you message within Schoology and how it connects to your Gmail. That's it.